Hello again, everybody, and welcome to the Mike Francesa podcast, part of the Bet Rivers Network. We come to you on this Football Friday for week number 3 in the National Football League, which began last night with Buffalo's third win and Miami's third loss. For the Bills, it has been a very productive 3 weeks. They have 2 division wins in a division they will wrap up before Thanksgiving. They also have a win against a team that they will have to fight for home field, that, of course, being the Ravens. So they get a little rest now before week 4. They get the 10 days off and get ready for week 4 and know that they are well on their way to a division title and to positioning themselves to take that shot which will allow them to continue their hopes. And their hopes are that they take a Lombardi trophy into their new stadium next year. For the Dolphins, it's going to be a long season. Played better in the 31-21 loss last night, but still the biggest decision they're going to have to make, and I don't think they're going to change their coach during the season, but the biggest decision they're going to have to make is, do they trade the highly unhappy and highly unproductive Tyreek Hill back to the Chiefs? That's the only question I think that really is going to be that important for the Dolphins in the next, say, 6 weeks or so. The Jets will play early. They will play in Florida. As a matter of fact, they'll play in Florida the next 2 weeks. They'll play in Tampa this week against the 2-0 Bucs. Then they will play against the Dolphins next week. Now, the Jets at 0-2 had a very positive week 1, although it was in a losing effort, a game they should have won against the Steelers. And they had a disastrous, complete, embarrassing breakdown in week 2 against the Bills. And they also lost their quarterback. Fields is out this week with a concussion, and that means center stage for Tyrod Taylor. Now, it's funny. Yesterday in the Francesa 5, I picked the Jets +7. One of the big reasons is Tyrod Taylor. There was a feature story this morning, which I saw the headline, I didn't read yet, in The Athletic, which said everybody loves Tyrod Taylor. It's true. Everybody does love Tyrod Taylor. Tyrod Taylor is extremely well respected as a backup quarterback. He is a highly productive backup quarterback. When he enters the game, he moves football teams. The problem with him is he doesn't ever stay long enough to become a starter, and he never has. He will always get banged up the way he plays, always. And I don't know if he's going to play 1 week or 2 weeks, but when he plays, he'll play well. And I think, everybody got really, as high as they got off on the Jets after week 1, they got even deeper down in week 2 than they were high in week 1. And to me, it was a little bit of an overreaction. The Jets are not going anywhere this year. We knew that on the way in. Fields is probably not their future. And right now, in New York, Giant fans are more positive about their team than the Jets are because they feel they have their franchise quarterback of the future on the roster. Even though they don't know that they do, they think they do. The Jets don't really think they do, and now they're 0-2, and now he's banged up, and now they played terribly, and now they have a coach who's proven nothing, and it's the Jet fans are already running out of patience. I think they're going to play well this week. A lot of places I've seen have just thought Tampa was going to run all over them and just bury them. I don't think so. First of all, Tampa is 2-0, but they've been extremely lucky. And they've been extremely lucky that Baker Mayfield is their quarterback, because twice the highly underrated Baker Mayfield, and Baker Mayfield has gone to the point where he is underrated because he is a terrific quarterback. He plays to win. He's gutty. He's dynamic. He's aggressive. Really, he has learned how to play in this league. He's learned how to lead in this league. He's learned how to win in this league. And it shows in Tampa. He came down the field against Atlanta in a game they had no right playing in, because Atlanta outplayed them by a mile and it never should have been a close game. But there they were with a chance to take the lead in the final minutes. What did he do? He put them in the end zone, and then they were fortunate enough that Atlanta missed the chip shot field goal that would have sent the game into overtime. Then what do? They have to come down the field against Houston. Houston's supposed to be good defensively. Tampa ran all over them. And then Houston has to be kicking themselves because 2 plays on that winning drive by the Bucs. A 4th and 10, 15-yard scramble by Mayfield. You had to make sure he did not beat you out of the pocket with his legs on 4th and long. And then a terrible, terrible tackling display as they allowed Irving, who ran on them all night, to break tackle after tackle and go 25 yards on a screenplay to really set them up for the winning score. I can also tell you I didn't love the timeout usage by their head coach, and they wound up losing in the final seconds. So Tampa's 2-0 with 2 come from behind late game scores. They're not a margin team. They know how to win. They know how to come from behind. But they're not a margin team. I think the Jets will play them a close game. I think they'll play them a close game with Tyrod Taylor. And I think the Jets getting 7 is a good play because I think the game will be inside that. I'm not saying the Jets will win. What I am saying is I think it's going to be a close game. The Giants will play Sunday night in prime time off their explosive loss to the Cowboys, a game that obviously they felt they should win. But you know what? If the Giants had won that, Dallas would have thought they should have won. It was that kind of game with a crazy fourth quarter, with 41 points scored in the fourth quarter, with big plays, heroic plays, huge passing yardage from Wilson, incredible kicking displays by Aubrey, 64-yard at its high of the game by the guy who is maybe the best kicker we've ever seen. So here comes Kansas City, which is 0-2. Now, Kansas City hasn't been 0-2 since 2014, and they are not the same team right now. But they did play a close game against the Chargers in Brazil. They did shut down the Eagles offensively and lost the game when their former All-Pro tight end not only didn't catch the game-winning touchdown, but managed to flip it into the hands of a would-be defender who then broke the game open and ended any chance the Chiefs would have by taking the ball down the field. The Chiefs miss Worthy. They miss Rice. They won't have Rice back to week 7. Worthy's hurt right now. They don't have any explosiveness. They can't run the ball. The only guy running the ball at all is Mahomes. They still have a defense. They're still well coached. They have a tremendous defensive coordinator. They have an all-world head coach. They have an all-world quarterback. But they are not great. They are not the team they were 3 years ago, and they are no longer a dominant football team, and they don't score a lot of points. I think the Giants can hang in this game. But if the Giants try to get greedy in this game, if Wilson tries to beat the Chiefs down the field with long passes, they will result in turnovers. Chiefs will not let Wilson beat them long. The Giants are going to have to be patient, utilize their receivers underneath, utilize Scadaboo, who I think is going to have a breakout game, maybe this Sunday night, and is going to become a folk hero in New York. And the Giants have to realize not only is he the best runner out of the backfield, he's the best receiver out of the backfield. Utilize him in that regard. Don't turn him into a first and second down back and take him off the field. My Lord, he's going to be a tremendous third down receiver for you. If the Giants are patient, they can hang in the game. I don't think they'll win it. I think the Chiefs will find a way. Why? Because they have Andy Reid and they have Mahomes and they have a lot of guys who are gamers. Chris Jones, you can go down the line. They're a kicker. I mean, there's so many guys to mention. but one of them isn't their tight end anymore. And this isn't jump on Kelsey time. But you know what? Let's be honest. Mahomes to Kelsey was one of the dynamic combinations in recent NFL history. It is no longer dynamic, and he is no longer a top player. Age, maybe. What's on his plate and how his life has changed? Quite possibly. Listen, you pay for whatever you get in life. All his endorsements, all his opportunities in front of the camera, all the opportunities with his brother, all the opportunities with his fiance, all the photo ops with his fiance, having to worry about how he leaves the house because he's going to be photographed everywhere he goes. All the things that are now part of his life have clearly detracted from what made him a top football player. There's no way around that. You can't be a great football player and be a celebrity. You got to be one or the other. And he now has moved into a different realm, and it has affected his play. He's not the same player, not even close. That's not being cruel. It's just being honest. And they have to look elsewhere to make their plays now. Mahomes has to realize that. But I think that will be a close game, although I think it's a game that just based on who they are, the Chiefs will win. I don't see them going 0-3. And they have lost to the Chargers and the Eagles. It's not like they lost to a lower echelon team. Now, the other big game, well, there's two big games this week other than that. Number one, there's the Monday night game with the Lions at the Ravens, which should be fun. Although the Ravens are better. And then there's the Rams and the Eagles. And I think the Rams are ready to show everybody that they will join the Packers and the Eagles at the top of the NFC. The top of the NFC, I think, will be the Eagles, the Packers, and the Rams. And I would not be surprised if the Rams won that game. Because the Eagles have shown quite a few issues in the first 2 weeks despite victories. A victory against Dallas that could have gone the other way, a victory against Kansas City that should have gone the other way. Elsewhere, Colts at 2-0 against the 0-2 Titans. Jones playing well. Warren playing well. Jonathan Taylor playing well. Offensive line playing well. It means points, points, points. Titans are 0-2. They'll get better, but their offensive line is weak. Cam Wood's been okay. He's only averaging 4.7 yards per passing attempt, which is meager. He has one touchdown. He doesn't run the ball. He has no intercepts, which is a positive. He'll get better. Can the Colts get to 3-0? If they do, they're going to really have shocked a lot of people because a lot of people were down, way down. I could tell you, I'm not going to pick on anybody, but I saw one forecast that they were going to be the worst team in the league this year. If you look at their personnel, that's ridiculous. Bengals at the Vikings. Bengals 2-0. 2 close wins. 2 fortunate wins after having so much bad luck in recent years. 2 fortunate wins, but then the ultimate bad break. Losing their very talented quarterback for 3 months. Now, they have told you that they believe in Browning. Browning has jumped in before and stayed above 500. He is not Burrow. He's not supposed to be. But can he deliver the ball to all their weapons? The answer is yes. Vikings will be without McCarthy at 1-1 coming off their Monday night game where they played miserably against the Falcons. Falcons pushed them around with their running game, pushed them around with their defense. Carson Wentz will quarterback here. And this is going to be interesting for this reason. McCarthy's not ready. Not even close. The biggest beneficiary of having Wentz is going to be Jefferson, who didn't say anything, but you know how those premier wide receivers get when no one's getting them the football. What's going to happen when Wentz lights up the scoreboard with the Viking weapons? Now, Jones is out, but they have Mason. They're going to score points with Wentz. And do not be surprised if Wentz remains their quarterback by putting up a lot of points, getting the ball to Jefferson, igniting the offense, and then they decide McCarthy can sit and wait. Do not be surprised if that happens. Steelers at the Pats. Rodgers has been sacked 7 times. He threw 4 touchdown passes against the Jets. He threw 1 and had 2 intercepts last week in a loss to Seattle. I didn't think they played very well. I didn't think he played very well. I think they will beat the Pats, but I would say this. The Steelers are showing some age on defense. They have some things to straighten out there. And the pieces in the offense really have not fit yet around Rodgers, but they will. Rams and Eagles, as I mentioned, I would not be surprised at all. The Eagles are having trouble moving the football. They have no passing game right now. Barkley's averaging 70 yards. They're lucky to be 2-0. And I think the Rams, especially with their combination at wide receiver and with their quarterback and with their defense, I think they have a chance to go to 3-0 here. And all of a sudden, everyone will be talking about the Rams with their coaching staff as a Super Bowl team. Raiders and Washington. We don't know about Daniels. Game time decision. It would be Mariota. If it's not, we don't know. I got a feeling Daniels is going to play, but we don't know. It's a Sunday. Check it out. It's going all the way to Sunday, so I think he probably will play, but I'm not sure. The Raiders need to get this offense figured out. They have weapons with Bowers, with Gentry. They have got to properly figure out how they want to play. We all know about Tom Brady now. How much is he interfering with the offense, or not interfering, but inputting himself into the offense? Hey, the way the Raider offense looked, people were upset that Brady was in the booth. I'd welcome him into the booth if the Raider offense is going to look like that. Geno Smith was throwing the ball up for grabs all night, and he was under pressure. They have no offensive line. They didn't make one block for Gentry, and he was on the run all night. Washington's got some issues. But to me, the Raiders are very much a work in progress, and they need to launch Gentry. When you draft a guy as high as they took the running back, you have got to feature him. You have got to utilize him to the fullest. Oh, why did you draft him that high? If you're going to turn him into a part-time running back, why'd you draft him? You don't draft a guy that high in a draft and then not make him your every down back. If you didn't want him to be your every down back, you shouldn't have drafted him. Falcons at the Panthers. Young D playing very well. Again, the young quarterback is having trouble getting the ball to all his weapons. They have a big-time running game. They should be 2-0. They have talent. But I think the line's too high. Falcons are a 6-point favorite. I think this game is a close game, and I wouldn't be surprised if Panthers get a backdoor cover. It wouldn't surprise me in the least here. Texans at 0-2 and have to be concerned with their offensive line, with their offense in general, with the psyche of their quarterback, with their defense against the running game. How come we keep talking the Texans up and we keep adding things they can't do week after week after week? Very disappointing team. They get the Jags. This game will tell you a lot about the Jaguars. I know everyone makes a big deal about the fact that Trevor Lawrence and their new head coach might not have hit it off that well. It was just one gesture. He gave him one goodbye, Hey, it's in the heat of battle. It's not a big deal. He's got to get the ball to his weapons. Jacksonville, if they win this week, they really bury the Texans. This is a game I think the Texans have to win. If they don't, it's going to be a very long season. Broncos at 1-1 at the 2-0 Chargers. Chargers have no. I'm not sure if the Chargers have no running game or they don't want to use their running game. One or the other. They have a lot of passing weapons in the passing game. They like to throw the ball, but they brought Hampton in, and he has looked terrible. They have Najee Harris, and he started to get the ball more after Hampton fumbled. Let's see how that goes. But right now, I like to see them. Usually, Harbaugh likes to run the ball. Well, so far, they look like a team that's going to pass the ball a lot. Broncos are solid. They're not great. They're solid. Saints 0-2, although they've played okay. At the Seahawks, who have played okay. Seahawks are better. Cowboys at the Bears. Neither team has anything that even approaches a defense, and they're both banged up on defense. So expect the ball in the air a lot. Expect a lot of points in this game. I'd be surprised if we don't get it. Cowboys are the better team. Bears have to get their offense going. One thing to look for, Odunze is ready to break out as a premier wide receiver with the Bears. He's already got 3 touchdown catches. He is making big plays. Watch. He's a kid that is on the brink of really breaking out as a wide receiver. Cardinals 2-0. Niners 2-0. Purdy might play. I don't think they're against playing Jones again, but Purdy might play if the toe is okay. I gather he can play with the shoulder. The question's the toe. Cards are 2-0. But what's up with Harrison? We know they got a productive tight end in McBride. The Cards they're not a bad team, but they're a hard team for me to figure. The Niners have a lot of guys banged up, but they're already 2-0. So, it's going to be interesting to see what happens in that division because you have the Rams, you have the Niners, you have the Seahawks, you have the Cards, everyone playing pretty well. And then the Monday night game, we already mentioned the Chiefs and Giants on Sunday night. The Monday night game, the Lions and the Ravens. The Lions got the Bears home, and they wanted to show everybody that their offense hadn't fallen apart, and they destroyed the Bears. It doesn't show me a lot that they destroyed the Bears. The Bears' defense is banged up and bad. Let's see how they play this week. Let's see how the Ravens play this week against the Lion offense. Let's see how the Raven offense, which couldn't run the ball on the Browns, but made big plays with the defense, and then finally made some big plays in the passing game and blew the game open against the Browns, couldn't run the ball last week at all after running the ball down the Bills' throat in week 1 in a game that there's no way the Ravens ever should have lost. The Ravens are a top team. We know that. The Lions have to prove that they can play this type of team to me with all their changes and all their issues. I would be surprised if the Lions won this game. I wouldn't be surprised if they each make some big plays. They both have a lot of big play players. We know how explosive and how good the Ravens can be. But when are they going to put it all together with this group? They were the best team last year. And you wonder, is something always, are we always going to be looking at something that went wrong and we're just saying, hey, they should have won, they should have won, they should have won. How often do we say that about this Raven group? And we know they've had a habit of blowing big leads, but more than that, can they be there we know they're going to win enough games to go to the postseason. We know they're going to be there come playoff time. Can they be what we all expect them to be? Is this their year? Is this the Bills' year? It's not starting off like it looks like it's the Chiefs' year. So have the Chiefs taken a real step back? We'll see. Have the Bills and the Ravens establish themselves? Who's the other team? Is it the Chargers? Who's going to be at the top there? And is this the year that finally Jackson or Allen gets to the promised land? We've been waiting a long time to see. The Bills are in very solid position in a very, very easy division. One they will have locked up before anybody eats any turkey. They'll have locked it up. There's not any question. There's nothing in that division that can touch them. They'll win it by 5-6 lengths, and that will be coasting. Coasting. If you didn't hear the Francesa 5 for this week, here it is. 2 college games, Oklahoma and Purdue. And in the pros, Jets, Panthers, Giants. So +7 for the Jets, +6 for the Panthers, +6.5 for the Giants. Purdue's getting 25.5 against Notre Dame. Remember last year, Notre Dame beat Purdue 66-7 in West Lafayette. Purdue's a lot better this year. And Notre Dame's 0-2. And the 0-2, you'd say, oh, they're going to come out crazy. I think their chins are on the ground right now because you have to start from scratch at 0-2. Your team doesn't think it can get to the playoffs now, no matter what it does. That's a hard thing to sell a team that played in the national championship game last year and had national championship aspirations again this year and opened with 2 straight losses. In the 2 games they knew they had to play well early in the season, including a heartbreaking loss to A&M last week at home in the final seconds. Now, the Mike Francesa newsletter. Sign up for the free Mike Francesa newsletter. You'll get content and contests and goodies and everything else. Go to the MikeFrancesapodcast.com and sign up. And again, the key word there, it's free. Bet Rivers Football Squares. Players who place a qualifying same-game parlay of at least $10 on eligible NFL and NCAA football games will receive one standard entry into the weekly Squares game. Winning standard squares will be awarded a prize of a $20 bonus bet. See app and website for more details. So check out the football squares, which are there each and every game throughout the regular season. Just download, if you haven't yet, make sure you download the Bet Rivers app and take it from there. Now, because of all these swirling quarterback things this week, there's been a lot of rumors about quarterback movement, quarterback trades, everything else. Hey, most of the time, even in a situation like Cincinnati, they are going to be patient. They're going to give Browning every chance to show you and to show the NFL that he can do the job. He's been in that offense a very long time. He has played extended football once before in that offense, and he played above 500. I think he won one more game than he lost. Your job there is to not establish yourself as a player. Now, in his own mind, he looks at this as an opportunity to show the league that he can be a starter, be a leading man. That's what they all want to do because that's where the big bucks come from. We know that. That's the ultimate motivation. But from a team standpoint, what is he supposed to do? He is supposed to get his team into the end zone, which results in victories. In this league, you have to convert third downs and convert red zone opportunities. That's what the quarterback play is all about. Get your team in position, whether they ask you to throw it 20 times or whether they ask you to throw it 40 times, whether they ask you to throw it on timing patterns or ask you to throw the ball deep. No matter what the role is of the quarterback, it's always the same. Get the ball in the end zone and win games. That's what a Baker Mayfield, as an example, has figured out. And that's why he has become such a important figure in this league at quarterback. After an early rough start in his career. And let's be honest, he's really made himself into a terrific player in this league. As an example, this league needs a couple more Baker Mayfields. Sure, it has its Mahomes and Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson. We know that. It needs a couple more Baker Mayfields. That's when play gets exciting. That's when games get exciting, when you have guys squaring off on that level. Nothing worse than like that Atlanta-Minnesota game where you had two young guys at the quarterback position who clearly are not ready to run their teams yet. The play is brutal when that happens. I mean, McCarthy was just not ready to run his team. Penix is taking his time. He's had his moments. See, I think it's more coaching with Penix than anything else because late in games, in his few starts, when they've made him throw the ball because time and down and distance and score made him throw the ball, he's done it very well. Then they go away from allowing him to play that way for 3 quarters. Let him play the game with the entire arsenal. I'll tell you right now, the only thing holding the Falcons back is coaching. Right now, that is their obstacle in my mind. Their coaching has just not been good. It's really been bad. And it has held that team back, and that team has talent. They should be 2-0, they're 1-1. They gave away a game, and last year they gave away a lot of games. And you got to stop doing that in this league. And the pressure amount, we all know guys came into this season with pressure on them. Dable did. A lot of pressure building down in Miami, obviously. But this pressure starting to build in places where you didn't expect it, like Houston, like Atlanta. Even Cincinnati, even though they're 2-0. There's a level of expectation. Now, the quarterback changes that. How much does it change it? Remains to be seen. Enjoy your football weekend. We'll see you later.